Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Charuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. As we have been following this argument of the Lord when he is trying to clarify to Arjuna with his complaint that you're confusing me. You tell me one, which is better? It's the yoga of knowledge or the yoga of work. You present to me both ideals, and then which should I do? So he says that, you both are ideals, but the karma yoga part comes before the jnana yoga, that knowledge yoga. The work portion always comes before, because it is a powerful factor to purify one's mind. People say, work, it binds you. Well, you're already bound. You don't have to. And what can free you is actually work, not knowledge. Later on, that work itself will lead you to knowledge. Sarva karma kilam partha jnani parisamapyate. All work is experience, and all experience is knowledge. And then he says, it's better, don't be a hypocrite. He's saying you renounce work and then you keep on mentally thinking about those things which you had renounced or which you are still kind of thinking about it. Or maybe you weren't satisfied with one chocolate and you wanted two, and you say, I should have taken that second chocolate before renouncing my work. And you keep on thinking. Kind of just an example. So the recommendation is, use your motor organs continuously, but under the control of your sensory system. You can generally, we react to everything. Our actions are kind of a reactions. It's like, what reaction? Sensory stimulus comes in and then we react. Simple as that. So he's saying you got to break this chain here somewhere. Everything is kind of subconscious. When stimulus comes in, or you see something, it's generally subconsciously. So as you keep on being alert, your organs of actions, your motor organs, will come under your perfect control. And you can find this person, the way he walks and talks, will come down. I think Sarvapriyananda, he finished that. What are the, you can say, indications of a person who goes into samadhi, when he's in samadhi, and what are the indications of that same person when he or she comes out of samadhi? How does he sit? How does he walk? How does he talk? It's like everything. He wants to know. And it's actually, it tells a lot about how much control you have over your sensory as well as your motor organs. The Swami Vivekananda said the first steps towards work is control. Otherwise, he's saying, you will simply shatter your nerves. The nerves have to become fine and they'll become like steel cables. Extremely sensitive. That the power of work will increase tenfold, hundredfold. People get stressed because of work. Why? No, you shouldn't get stressed. In fact, it should get you more and more internal power. Long time ago, there was a kind of brother monk. So I was kind of grumbling. I was reading a book and somebody said, you better do that work. And I was kind of grumbling. I said, why should I do that? And Brother was saying, he overheard me. Never say no to work. Oh. And it really struck me. Never say no to work. The moment you work, you have a power over yourself as well as others. If you're not working, they can kick you around like a football. The moment you work, oh yeah, this guy is exerting the internal powers. So, the verse is 8th verse, 3rd chapter. Niyatam kuru karma tvam karma jayo hya karmanah sharira yatra pichate na prasiddheda karmanah. Saying, you, that is, the Lord is telling Arjuna, you perform your obligatory duties. For action is superior to inaction. And for you who are without duty, even the maintenance of your body will not be properly possible. Yes. It's kind of, first is, we have seen, work is superior to non-work. This is kind of. Later on we'll come to what is work, action, and what is inaction. He who sees action in inaction and inaction in action, he is a wise person, he is a sage, he is a yogi, and is the accomplisher of all things. Swami Vivekananda, I think in one of his lectures here in New York, says, if a person who is used to meditation, if he's brought into contact with the crush of humanity on the streets everywhere, that guy will perchance go crazy. And a person who's used to the common work, day and night, from morning till late night, if he is asked to go out and meditate, stop work and meditate, you're getting him or her into trouble. You've got to combine both. What? How do you combine both? When you work, let your mind be calm. And when you're calm, that is a state of highest activity. He gives the example of, you let horses, you let the horses run away. Or you hold the horses, hold the reins and pull them. What needs more power? Obviously, drawing them back. So the senses are something like that, kind of the horses. They're running and they're letting us, they're taking advantage of us, taking us wherever they want. Put a kind of a harness over them and start drawing them in. It takes tremendous power. You see the very fact of Sri Krishna on the battlefield. These horses are restive. The horses are frightened. It's a kind of a war, imminent war. And he is holding them in check. And yet at the same time calm and smiling. That is what it is. Seeing action in inaction and inaction in action. When you are calm, you are most active. And when you are active, your mind should be like placid and calm, quiet. You have understood the secret of work. So, here the Lord says, be active. And later on, after 2 verses, he'll give you the great doctrine of sacrifice. Why work should be performed by everyone. Everyone performs work, either consciously or subconsciously. You are moving your heart and your lungs and all subconsciously. You think I'm moving? You think God is moving there? Moving your lungs and all? As if God doesn't have anything else to do but Go and pump your heart and pump your lungs. And you are doing it, but you don't know. You're doing it subconsciously. Why? Because you have decided that you have to free your conscious mind for higher thoughts. You can't be bogged down with all the details of, is my blood flowing? Oh, yeah. You will not be able to do any, you can say, creative work, or you will not be able to do any concrete work. Every time, am I alive? So nature freed you from all this mundane, you can say, details of work by making all these things subconscious. Your conscious mind now can look forward, plan, execute it. That's the idea of work. So people say, I'm working, I'm sitting quietly, I'm working, yeah, I'm breathing, I'm thinking, that's work. Yeah, but then a lot of excuses are there. Like he says that he's saying the Sharira Yatra, that is the journey of life actually, kind of the translation, will not be possible for you if you are inactive. See, the day you have something to look forward to, you wake up in the morning, I have to do that. I've got to go to the office or something like that. Kind of it drags you out of your bed, even in this cold, takes you out. Holy Mother says, my child, work is the goddess of fortune. Yes, tremendous. When you work, your body and your mind becomes integrated. So here we are. And these things have been told over and over and again. Never shirk from any responsibilities. So you will not be able to even function properly if you are just lazy. Imagine you have nothing to do tomorrow. I have nothing to do tomorrow. I'm going to sleep. You do that for a couple of days and see what happens. You will fall sick. You will fall ill. Yes. I want to sleep and sleep. Okay. So this body and mind is a result of past karma. Yes. The momentum had begun long ago. Don't try to slow down the momentum. Let it go. And as it keeps on going, you'll become better and better. Because when you work, your work helps yourself as well as others also. Obviously. So the moment you try to, work is bondage. No, it's not bondage. You use this instrument to break your old bondages. And the Lord will teach us how to. So, he's saying, Sharira Yatra Pichate na Prasiddhe. So he's saying, it will not be possible to undertake life's journey if you are inactive. So you must have something to look forward to. Begin your day, this is that. Now, there is something called, the very first word is kind of obligatory duties. It's saying you perform the obligatory duties. It's niyatam. One is, it's called daily obligatory duties. I think you all in your Vedanta classes have been listening to. There are certain duties that are obligatory. You got to do it. No results are mentioned about it. It's obligatory. You got to do it. If you don't do them, there is a kind of a fault in that. Pratyavaya, they say. But some of these old sages say, see, you plant an apple tree for apples, but you also get shade. Yeah, and you get leaves and you get everything. So these are secondary. So when you perform your obligatory duties, you get secondary results also. So keep on performing your obligatory duties. Now, what are the obligatory duties? In the old days, in some places still, there were these 5 great sacrifices. I think I told you about last time. The sacrifices, your duties, your responsibilities and duties towards the gods. You got to worship them. That's part of your daily day. Why? Oh well, they sustain everything. Then your duties towards your ancestors, all these guys who gave you everything. The third is your duties to the sages, because that's where you got all your knowledge from. Your duty to humanity. And your duty towards the lower beings. I mean, lower in the sense of not, we generally think of this as we are some superior beings. Nothing like. To beings who are helpless, birds, animals, bees, plants. Yes, these were the 5 obligatory duties of everyone. You had to do it. And why? Well, you get connected to the whole universe, seen and unseen. Yeah. So, this is what? What do? Yeah, you get connected to this world through your duties. So, he's saying, niyatam kuru karmatvam. So, you keep on doing these duties to this whole world. And why? Because he's saying, because work, karma, is superior to non-work. And then he says, even your body and your life will not be able to be sustained if you remain inactive. So it's kind of clear. We don't need. We take the next one, 9th. Now begins the core of the doctrine of what he was trying to lead us to. Yajñartat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. This person becomes bound by actions other than actions which are meant for the Supreme Lord. Without being attached, O son of Kunti, that is, O Arjuna, you perform action for the Lord. No, it's actually, I think most of you have seen that fire sacrifice, Ramakrishna Mission and Vedanta Society occasionally have these fire sacrifices. These are the old kind of fire sacrifices in the Vedas, still current, of course. So that was it got transformed. So when we eat, the act of eating is transformed into a sacrifice. Simple as that. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir. You do it? Yeah. Now this sacrifice, we're talking about it. There is a being who identifies itself with the sacrifice, and that is called Vishnu. Now, I don't want, the moment I say kind of a being and identified, we try to bring in a kind of a personality. Vishnu. Vishnu means that which is all-pervasive, Vyapanat. There is a power that is identified with sacrifices. And where is that power that's identified with sacrifice? Within you. Because later on in the 9th chapter, the Adiyagno Amevatra Deha Deha Britambara. I am the Lord of the sacrifices situated within you. Each and every one has the power of sacrifices and a being, a reality that's identified with the sacrifices. So here, he's saying, you perform sacrifices for that being. Oh, why? Yeah, because all work is a sacrifice. When it is done for the Lord, it's a sacrifice. When it is done for you, you know what is kind of, you get bound. In the Vedas also it's saying, Yagnyo vai Vishnu. Sacrifice itself is Vishnu. It's that being which is all pervasive. And in one of the earliest sections of the Vedas, called the Purusha Sukta, this whole universe arose from sacrifice. Yes. God suddenly woke up, oh, it's been a long time, let's do something. No, it's nothing like that. This sacrifice is constantly going on. Even today, we can sacrifice through our speech, through our thoughts, through our actions. We are sacrificing to the Lord. This whole universe, and from the very beginning, humanity in every culture has intuited the importance of a sacrifice. It's invariably there. In fact, that's a central, you can say, doctrine in every religion. Where they say it started with death rituals and nothing. The idea of a sacrifice is universal. This whole universe runs on the basis of sacrifice. Yes. Well, I have to sacrifice certain things for others. Or I have to sacrifice the lower things to attain the higher things. So life is sacrifice. When you die, your sacrifice is over. Yeah. And then that oblation that you used to pour in that fire is taken, and then you're cremated with that. There. That's a final sacrifice. Like Swami Vivekananda in one of his, in search of wealth in this world, thou art the only wealth I have found, I sacrifice myself unto thee. In search of love, thou art the only beloved I have found, I sacrifice myself unto thee. Nothing for me, whether good, bad or indifferent, I sacrifice myself unto thee. So this is the idea of sacrifice. The whole universe of living things is constantly sacrificing. So this universe now becomes a huge, you can say, religious ceremony, sacrificial ceremony. And it's a tremendous, if you can look at this, millions and billions of people doing all stupid, mundane things, even that, if the attitude is correct, it can be the cause of liberation. People say, I want liberation. I say, yeah. Never will liberation come without the crucible of sacrifices. Never. People say, that person said in 6 years I can give you enlightenment. Well, all the best. Never. Until unless that is a part of your breath, part of your life, every moment you are aware that this is a huge sacrifice. Who sacrificed? The Lord sacrificed itself. And we are supposed to emulate it. That sacrifice in the microcosm. So all the gods, they pour their libation in that. You know, it's a very beautiful hymn, Purusha Sukta. So anyway, so here he's saying yajnartha, that is, you perform work for that being who is identified with sacrifices. So your work becomes a sacrifice. Okay? So where is that yajna? Sacrifice is inside. The sacrificer is also inside, and the being identified with the sacrifice is also within. Whatever you think, do, speak, everything can be an oblation. Somebody asks, is it really kind of on an idealistic level or something like that? No, Swami Vivekananda says. You will find at one point of time you can actually feel you are offering this oblation in the sacrifice, the fire, as tangibly as you can give somebody a flower. Yeah, because we are so externalized. We have been working for ourselves for, not only this, it's not new. We've been doing it for a couple of million births. Yeah, I like to put, I don't like to think small. I'm lean. We've been doing over and over again. There was a kind of a necessity for survival. Till the brain matures into kind of higher idealism, we are still on that level of, I've got to have those emotions of hate and anger and jealousy, because I have to protect myself. After we have risen to the stage of humanity, you don't need all those things. You need compassion, you need kindness, you need love, you need altruism. This is what you need. You don't need hate and spite and jealousy. Those are the kind of evolutionary remnants still with us. Kind of like we have an appendix or you have a kind of coccyx, kind of remnants. And nature will get rid of it, of course, after a while. But all the negative things that we've had, humanity thinks, so yeah, kind of, and which we have been busy trying to destroy ourselves with. Those are kind of, they ought to be given up. And only that which unifies you with the world has to be kind of enhanced, should be cultivated. And as you keep on getting identified with the whole cosmos, you will actually find that no one can be really selfish in the, you can say, correct term. One has to work, others are benefited, and we are kind of, there's a, later will come, there's a whole wheel of existence, and we are small kind of cogs on that wheel of existence. When we turn, we pull others also, take others also along with us. So in this whole wheel of existence, where you, me, gods, angels, saints, devils, today I found that somebody was, hey, it's a devil. I said, do you still believe in all those things? You better believe in God than in devils. It'll help you. So all beings are kind of strung upon this wheel of existence. And the Lord is moving that wheel. We may think we are very great. It doesn't. Not. We're kind of insignificant. Many great emperors have come and gone. Do you know that? They wanted to unify, wanted to... Not only that, the sloka says, there's an answer, that even those beings who are the creator gods type of, they have come and they have gone. What about you? Who are you? Why you think you're so big? The moment you think you're big, you you have separated yourself from the universe. The more you are one with the universe, then you will be really big. The fear of death will not be there. As long as there's life somewhere, I'll be there. There will never be any suspicion, there will never be hatred. All the best qualities arise. Sacrifice, 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 sacrifice. Later on, he will teach us various sacrifices. Like when we breathe in, the inhalation can be offered as an oblation in the outgoing breath. Slowly will come. So this yajna is Vishnu. Vishnu is here, and that Vishnu is all pervasive. Vyapanat Vishnu. So he is there in all bodies. So if I can look upon you there as also a kind of a part of my sacrifice, then this work which I do will no longer bind me. Every work will become a sacrifice. And it is always sacrifices. Whether I should meditate or go for a movie, well, you have to sacrifice one. You have to give up one. Yeah. And that is one form of renunciation. Give up the lower for the higher. So renunciation also is inextricably linked with the idea of sacrifice. Oh, I do meditation every day. And I've been doing meditation for so many years. I'll go for a movie. Yeah, you can go for a movie. But you won't get the benefit of the sacrifice. If you don't kind of say, oh, this is better than that. No. If you got to do it with a free mind. But it's always do things which elevate you. You kind of, Sri Ramakrishna is saying, who is a person? Human being. Manir Hush. One who is aware of one's dignity as a human being. Simple. I am a human being. I shouldn't behave like this. Yeah, that itself is it. Later on you will find, oh, actually I am a God inside. I shouldn't behave like a devil. Yes, there's a God. There's a beast, there's a human being, and there's a God within. It depends on which you want to manifest. And the more you sacrifice, the more you will manifest that divine nature within. So that's the reason why he's saying you perform action for that Lord of sacrifices, not for anyone else. We are living our own lives in this vast city. How many people, millions and millions, are quietly doing their work, their duties? And those quiet ones are really holding things up. They may feel nobody knows me, nobody recognizes me. That's not important. The moment you are doing something for the collective, you are doing it for the Lord. And then you will feel a part of that huge wheel of creation, wheel of existence. Yes, this whole world is one mass of existence. It's manifesting higher and higher and higher powers. And that is, you are better today than what you were yesterday. You feel we have improved. It's kind of incremental improvement. And we are going out for higher and higher goals. And that is the typical human nature. We don't have a kind of a retrograde movement. It's always forward. So when you do things for the others, there you are. You are moving forward. You are pulling humanity. I can understand why people say I'm lonely and alone. What? if you are working sincerely, you cannot complain of loneliness. The moment you become lazy, in India we say kamchor. He kind of pretends that he is working, or he or she is working. The moment you do that, you've cut yourself away from the whole. So, when I say, people come and say, Swami, I'm lonely, I'm alone. Go and do some work. do some work. Even anything small, but keep on working. And that is a great lesson that this Lord is. Don't try to underestimate the power of work. The whole, and as you keep on doing for the collective, like do it for the collective or do it for the Lord keeps on rewarding you. And you keep on doing more and more. And you become powerful. Powerful in the sense, not in the negative sense. Your heart will broaden. Your mind will broaden. That is the power of unselfishness, the power of love and power of compassion. These will keep on growing. So I should remember my friend say, don't say no to work. Never say no to work. And no work is small or big. No. Even the smallest work can be a sacrifice. Even a simple thought that's running in my mind can be offered to the Lord. And my whole life is a sacrifice then. And I'm one with the universal sacrifice that's going on. Yes, this universe is not dull, dead matter. This universe of existence is a massive sacrifice that's going on. You, me, gods and everything are kind of pouring their oblations. So those fire rituals that we do is just symbolic of this universal sacrifice that's going on. And don't put your whole thing there and don't get burned there. This is the idea. So here is clear, he says, do it. So the next 10th verse, it's a kind of a extension of this 9th verse. Sahayagnya praja srishtva puro vacha prajapati anena prasavishyadvam esha vostvishta kamaduk. Yeah, perfect. I've been trying to explain things and Aliyah is saying, having created in the days of yore, in the beginning, beings who are associated with sacrifices. Everyone who is born is associated with a sacrifice. Prajapati says, that is the Creator God says, by this you multiply. Let this be your yielder of the coveted objects of desire. The kamaduk, that is everything you do. I mean, what do you desire? Desire health and well-being for everyone. That's a desire, yes, kind of. You want to have one chocolate ice cream? 2, 3, 4, no. Yeah, you take it and share it with others and see what happens. So, in the very beginning of creation, the Lord, as it were, declared to all the beings, let this be the fulfiller of all your desires. What? Sacrifices. You are born as a sacrifice. You know, Swami Vivekananda, sometimes he used to get so kind of inspired. Yeah, you be just a sacrifice at the mother's altar. Yeah. Be a sacrifice to Kali. It is only through this that all your desires will be satisfied. So, see, like we are born. Where are we born? You're born through sacrifice. You are born as a sacrifice. Your life is a sacrifice. And your death also will be a kind of big sacrifice. Yeah. Why should you get afraid of death and all that kind of? What is kind of silly thing of it? We've been spoiling, losing our sleep over this thing called death and all that. Kind of silly things. So he's saying, Sahayagnya, you were born along a sacrifice. That is, the sacrifice has been associated with you. And as if you remember that the Lord of the sacrifice is also there within you. So you are not born alone. The Lord is associated with you forever and ever and ever. Okay? So that's a nice kind of, I'm not alone. Yeah. Holy Mother says, no, my child, they're saying, whenever you're in distress, think that you have a mother. And these are words should be taken literally. She is actually there. Whenever you're in distress, remember that you have a mother. So it's like this, the same thing. That when you are born, when you come to exist, you are associated with the Lord of sacrifice. Always there. And he's saying, in the days of yore, in the beginning of creation, kind of. So the Prajapati, Praja is creatures, and Pati is the Lord, the Lord of all creatures. He's saying, this is your means to attain everything that's desirable. Well, there. People say, I'm poor, I'm this and that, I don't have nothing, nobody loves me, I don't love anybody. What a kind of worldview is this? You've already been given a means to fulfill your desires. Yes. Why don't you use it? Well, like I was saying, we need to be told over and over again that, we have all the means to attain the highest, and yet we fail to recognize our own powers, our own place in the universe. The universe in the sense, the spiritual universe. It's kind of a huge spiritual universe there. We all have a place there, and we all have to contribute. Yeah, you can sit down quietly. I had a kind of teacher, when we were young, he used to tell, these brahmacharyans, novices used to come and kind of so humbly say, Maharaj, how are you? Then slowly, everybody is busy, and that kind of humility and respect is not there. And I say, oh, how are you? This thing has now dropped off. And then later on, as things are getting more and more, you can say, confusing. Hi, Swami. How are things? And now not only that, hey, Swami, I hope you are fine. They're calling you. What I was trying to get to that, like we have the means for everything. We have been given everything the day you were born. The day you came into existence. Not now. This is a very ancient universe. Very ancient. So when he says, in the days of yore, it's not some 1,000 or 2,000, 3,000 or 50 years or 60 years before that I came into being. No. I came into being When Brahma opens his eyes, a universe is created. It's a long process. That's one day of Brahma. And when he goes to sleep, the whole universe goes into dissolution. And those who are not liberated during that time, they come back again. Yeah. When Buddha sat down with the idea, I'm going to get liberation now. I'm not going to move from this seat. This liberation, which is difficult in myriads of cycles of creation. Yes. Let my body dry up on the seat. Let my flesh and everything wither away. I am not going to move till I attain this enlightenment. This is the willpower, this is the kind of resolve we need. Then he says, Aprapya bodhim bahukalpa durlabham. It's difficult in many cycles of. So when I told that, saying, 6 years, you want enlightenment? Go there. Yeah, you'll get enlightenment. You get a knock on the head. And then you'll say, if I know how stupid I was. So, because creation, there is no starting point and there is no ending point. So your life has got no starting point and ending point. This birth and death and all this kind of a shadow. Don't believe in all these things. But yeah. You have been growing and growing and growing and growing in each stage of your kind of existence. And as you're growing and growing, you will finally grow into your own godhood. Yes, that's what we are going. Every being in this universe will grow up into their own godhood. Yeah, you want to search for God? You are that God. In the sense of that divinity is there within you. That's the whole purpose of this evolution and creation and all these things. You think it's a kind of he's doing it for fun? No. The whole process of everything is so that we will come into our own. We will become liberated, and then so all beings are in that kind of long chain. You're all going towards liberation. The person who does sacrifices quickly, you see what happens is there are many times we desire certain things, but so many obstructions and obstacles come. It's a waste of time. I want to have something or do something, and 20 people will oppose me. Hey, you don't do that. Yeah. You take one step towards your desire, and 100 people will pull you back. Swami Vivekananda says, so a young man says, I want to enjoy the world a little, and all the doors are closed for him. And I want to renounce all, Godspeed. It's only for the others. So we have desires in us, but the nature of the desires, the nature of the world is to obstruct you first. But if you persist, they'll give way. Here, if you understand yourself as associated with the Lord of sacrifices, you are a sacrifice, all your desires will be fulfilled. Yes. And that is what it is. So you will have untrammeled, you can say, sway. Swami Vivekananda says, even if you call the gods come, these minor deities, they will come. Yes, sir, what can we do for you? Yam yam lokam manasa sambhibate. Whatever plane of existence this person's mind can go and think about it, that thing will be acquired by this person. It's not a kind of it's poetry or something. It's real. I have seen some monks who work kind of like that. Unobstructed will, untrammeled will. If they want something, it comes to them. But it was invariably what they desired was for the good happiness of all, for the good of all. Bahujana hitaya, bahujana sukhaya. That individuality has kind of blown away. So how do you fulfill all your desires? By breaking your ego. Oh, you see, the world is obstructing my fondness for these things. It's your own ego that's acting as an obstacle. Yeah. The world is not bothered. It's your own ego, your own old crystallized thoughts and all these things that act as a barrier to you only. The moment you let go, the whole universe will flow through you. Whole universe, the power of the whole universe will flow through you. Yeah. And actually it happens. The power of the whole universe flows through you at every moment. Why don't we know it? That's because of your ego, your silly individuality that you have been kind of sculpting for so long. That has to go. And then you will find that there is nothing that can stop you. There is nothing that is beyond you. All your wants will be fulfilled. So there, the moment your ego goes, you have this. Let this be. By this you multiply. That is, actually we are constantly kind of growing. We are constantly growing. So through sacrifices you keep on growing. Let this be your ishtakama. Let this be your yielder of the coveted objects of desire. Everything can come, it's only your own ego that. I'll tell you a small kind of story from the mythology and because connected with this individuality. There was a great sage called Mandavya. Later he was called Ani Mandavya. He was sitting in the hermitage, like sages what they do, they're repeating God's name or something like that, sitting there. He's seen a group of bandits fleeing, and in that haste they dropped some things that they were carrying. And after a while he sees the king's guards on horseback. They are kind of chasing these. So one of the guards got down. Did you see which side the thieves went? Oh, thieves? I don't know. And then they found some valuables there. Oh, you're a sage, huh? Pretending to be a sage. Yeah, all those kings, you can say, treasures are fallen down here. Let's go. We are going to arrest you and take you back to the palace. So the sage was a sage, saying, okay, let's go. He goes there. The king says, oh, so you are a sage, but you are a non-conformist sage. You are a bandit also, thief. Last night my treasury in the palace was broken and all the gold and jewels were all stolen. So the sage was sage, oh, well. And his, you can say, calm demeanor, I don't know what the king thought. He is not objecting vehemently. No, he is accepting the fact that, yes. So we'll see, let's torture him. And they put 2 or 3 kind of spears around him. It was piercing the flesh. So he kind of tied him down. He couldn't move. Now, being a sage, as you know, he calls the god of death. Come here. Yama comes. Yes, what can I do for you? Yeah. Saying, what karma did I do that I have to deserve this? I know I have not harmed anyone. Saying, yes, when you were little, you used to take that long stalk of that grass, it's called the punja grass, and you used to poke those birds in fun. Oh, it's because of that? I think, yes. But I was little. Well, you're little, and you did it. Then the sage kind of makes an agreement with the Yama, god of death. Till you're 8, 9, till your individuality is not yet crystallized, whatever you do has to be forgiven. So the god of death, yes, oh yes, whatever you say, sir. And that was that. As you start growing, when you're kind of 4, 5, you're starting to learn the social skills and, kind of trying to integrate this in amongst a peer group, getting to know things. And as the process of social skills or integration is going on, you start now defining your own individuality in a very distinct way. You have actually now come into being. Now whatever you do, you've got to take it. Yeah. Like throwing boomerangs, it's coming and hitting you on that. Who hit me? Hey, you throw it out. So at least because of that sage Mandavya, till you're 8, 9, we've got a kind of a respite. What I mean to say is that when you do anything with a sense of I am doing it, you are going to reap the benefits. As you sow, so shall you reap. That's why they say, I am doing the Lord's work, I belong to the Lord, and the results of whatever I do will be given by the Lord. This is the way. Your ego doesn't come in the way at all. If you can do that, all your desires will be satisfied, fulfilled. You will become a blessing to humanity. That's the idea. We can start. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna